Hello and welcome. My name is Hart. I'm here with my buddy Jess, and we are going to be talking about I want to go with epic conclusion to the Feast Trilogy, Feast 3, the happy ending, as they put it.
The happy finish.
Sorry, the happy finish, right. Happy ending would have made much more sense with the second one being called Sloppy Seconds.
True.
This one was much more reminiscent of the first one. They ditched the CGI almost entirely and went back to practical effects, which was a nice change.
Yes.
They also kind of ditched the attempting to tell a story and went back to just pretty much almost nonstop action. The movie felt way better paced again, much like the first one. So at the end of the day, you've got a trilogy where the middle one is the weak spot, but it's definitely worth trudging through to get to the conclusion.
Yes. It's definitely worth it.
The only thing I would say is kind of sad with the trilogy overall is you can watch the first one and just kind of walk away. You don't need to watch the entire trilogy to enjoy the first one.
No.
But if you watch the second one, it leaves off in such a way that you're left in mid-scene. Not even just a cliffhanger, but literally middle of the action. So you almost have to watch the third one to find out what happens. And if you're going to watch the third one, you might as well watch the whole thing.
Yes. Literally the third one just starts off where the second one ended.
Yeah, picks up immediately.
Right from where it was.
Well, not right from where it was. It does give a brief sort of recap of the ending of the second one.
Yes.
And leads directly into the continuation of that. But it's, again, if you've watched the first two reviews, it's a horror movie. It does have plenty of gore and shock value. They really do give no fucks.
No, they don't.
So if that sounds like your kind of thing, then, give it a check out. Watch the first two before you watch the third one, of course. If you aren't into horror, do not watch it. Do not even bother. You could probably just turn off the video now and, go on with your life. And you will probably have a happier life than I do after watching this.
I kind of enjoyed the trilogy.
It makes me feel dirty, the fact that I enjoyed it, because it is very over the top. It does feel like they're almost trying to offend you, and I wasn't offended. Now, granted, these days people get offended by the stupidest things, but it does make me feel a little bit, dead inside, or that I don't know, I need a cold shower or some shit, because it does just feel very gruesome, and the fact that I wasn't put off by it makes me a little worried.
It's kind of sad in one of the parts where I was cheering for the monster.
Which part was that? Well, actually, you know what? We'll save that for the second half of the video. So, yeah. Quick sum up, definitely give the trilogy a chance if you do enjoy horror. It will be worth your time unless you're easily offended. So comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any movies you want to hear my thoughts on, and we're going to get into some spoilers.
All right, well, very opening scenes of the final three. Literally it leaves you off at exactly where number 2 left you off at.
Sure.
But what I'm getting at, if you watch the second one and you start getting into the third one, they show you at the end of the second one, Honey Pie says she's not dead. Not even a couple seconds into the third one, she's screaming. One of the monsters come up and ripped and literally sliced off her head. Then ate her head
in one whole bite. Did not chew.
Yes, one whole bite, and then continue as the monster's facing the camera. He's literally shitting out her head.
Yeah, it's like it passed through him in seconds.
Yes.
He literally downed it and shat it out. It didn't get digested or anything.
It was kind of satisfying, sadly. Just because I didn't like her at all.
Well, she does run and hide for the first two movies. She's very, what's the word?
My way or fuck you. That's pretty much what it is.
That's a good enough way to put it, I guess. I can't think of the word I'm trying to use, but yeah, she was very self-aware, self-sufficient. Yes. Didn't give a shit about anybody else.
As you continue on through the movie, you find out exactly what happened when they were attacked on the roof.
Yeah, obviously it does pick up right where it left off. Continues that scene.
Biker Queen decides to give a skid mark to the monster with the bike that was on the roof.
Which, I'm no expert, I'm no mechanic, but I'm pretty sure with a motorcycle, I feel like it's probably not both wheels that are powered by the motor. It's probably just the rear tire.
Yes.
So she's using the front tire,
which has...
It wouldn't be spinning at that point, but yes. Logic. I could be wrong. Maybe the engine powers both tires. I don't know, but it doesn't feel like
I think it's the back tire only. And the back tire was clearly off when she put the bike down and you saw it.
Yeah, she lifted the bike up. She was riding it normally and did a wheelie. Yeah. So, but either way, it was entertaining. She used a motorcycle to kill one. The movie continues the fast-paced, gory action and introducing characters only to virtually immediately kill them off. We have an army guy who comes in.
Before that, they actually went back to when they introduced the characters. They tell you your life expectancies.
Yeah, the second one they did some weird
videos,
kind of like a reality show cutscene where the person briefly mentions and talks about themselves. This one goes back to the first movie where it introduces the character by doing like a freeze frame and some text on the screen. But we have an army guy who shows up, explains to everybody that no, the army isn't coming. They all got torn to shreds. And he lasts a whopping maybe 5 minutes before taking one of the characters aside, showing her how to use a gun.
Secrets.
Yeah. He shows her how to use a gun, and she accidentally shoots him in the face.
Yeah.
My first thought with that scene is you could tell she was interested in him, and the first thing that actually came to mind was I didn't know girls could get premature ejaculation. Because that's kind of how the scene felt. Like she went off prematurely by shooting him in the face. But later on we have, honestly, my favorite character. Sadly, he has a very short life expectancy as well. We have a kid who shows up with what appear to be butcher's knives strapped to the back of his wrists. And he is very good at martial arts. Jumps in, kicks some ass, and shortly after that gets one of his arms ripped off. So he becomes next to useless. Shortly after that, well, a little bit longer after that, he gets bit on his one good arm, and the bartender, who is still alive surprisingly, ends up... He was in the army. And instead of using army training, he decides to go with Rambo 3, as he puts it. Cracks open some shells, pours the gunpowder on the kid's arm, lights it, and blows the kid's arm off instead of closing the wound. Because he dumped, what would you say, probably 5 shells worth of gunpowder on his arm?
Yeah, about that.
But, yeah, by the end of the movie, we find out who lives and who dies. And in the end, it's just the bartender. The ending of the movie is honestly rather interesting. It came out of complete left field. We have 3 characters alive at the end. And
bartender, the secrets, and surprisingly, lightning that survived the TNT explosion. The trash can.
Well, yeah, that aluminum trash can can take a dynamite explosion. Didn't you know that?
Apparently so.
We have the bartender who you have one woman and two guys. He's like, we got to repopulate. Starts taking off his clothes, and giant robot out of nowhere crushes the woman and the little person.
Yes.
And the bartender's the only one left alive. And then a mariachi comes in and decides to sing the song of Feast. Literally, the song is a recap of all three movies as the credits roll.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, it takes you completely by surprise. You're expecting a happy end, and you don't really get one exactly because there's still creatures out there. The world's still going to shit.
There was a happy ending for Slasher, though. In two different ways. They were hiding against the monsters, and they go in this storage container, and they find two other survivors, and then two of the biker chicks find him. They start beating him up, and they got him to the back of the storage, and there's a hole there. Well, one of the monsters hears them, and he's like, they look in the hole. He's like, and you're watching them as they're fighting, and then you see the cutscene back and forth with the monster. Next thing you know, you look through the hole as you were being in the storage, and all you see is something coming in, and it's the monster's dick. And next thing you know, you see the monster raping Slasher
through a storage container wall. So from the inside, you just see Slasher
banging back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then all you see is the monster scream, and you see Slasher's stomach literally fill up and explode.
Yeah.
And then later down in a couple scenes later, they find Slasher.
He's mutated. Now he's
a hybrid.
Yeah, he's like part creature, but still somewhat his own human self.
He manages to run off, and he ends up finding the group later on down the road. And Secret stops him from killing everybody
by proceeding to dig in. The movie's called Feast, and we finally get a quote-unquote feast.
Literally.
As we have the four final characters eating the monster.
Well, even before that, the freaking Slasher ends up killing the guy.
Yeah, they carry him around for the whole fucking movie.
Yeah, the guy had the pipe in his freaking head, and he still wasn't dead.
Yeah, he lived longer than most of the characters.
And Slasher decides to finally kill him, get his revenge, only to have him getting feasted on by all the other characters. And obviously, and the biker queen before that gets spewed on, and she's rotten. Yeah. She's getting rotten.
Well, it's weird. They have characters in the first one and the second one get puked on, and they just decompose. And in this one, for some reason, maybe it's a different type of fluid, I guess. I don't know. They never explain anything throughout any of the movies. But these people have been vomited on, I guess, and instead of decomposing, they just kind of lose their mind. And
there's quite a few of them there. Like, all their bloodlust
and the creatures didn't seem to want to attack them. They were running right past them.
Maybe they were kind of infected, like
they might be slowly mutating, possibly. I don't know, maybe. But they're all batshit insane. The first character you meet that is crazy like this, it tells you that her motto is how did it go? Blood makes it better.
Yes, blood makes it better.
Yeah.
And she's continuing stabbing one of the...
No. She says that while she's rubbing a severed penis on her face.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. That gave me a chuckle. Blood makes it better. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. She's continuing stabbing one of the hot biker chicks in the stomach.
Honestly, she was my favorite. I mean, nudity aside, she has the two hammers. She kicked some ass throughout the movie.
Yes.
I would have preferred her to live, honestly. She was a badass character. But sadly, throughout the entire movie, any character that shows any kind of proficiency at fighting ends up dying.
The only reason she died because there's 3-on-1. True.
Everybody else was still trapped. But, I mean...
Rest in peace, biker chick.
But yeah, overall, the movie is very much harkens back to the first one. It flows really well. The pacing of it was really good. It was virtually nonstop action. There's really no story to be had. The overall arcing plot is start of the first movie, you have people in a bar, creatures attack. People survive. Some people survive the night. People move to the town. Creatures are there too. People survive the night, pretty much. That's it. That's the 3 movies in a nutshell. We still have no clue what the creatures are, where they came from. There's a giant robot now for some reason. You just technically see the foot, and then he's in the background when the mariachi guy's singing.
I think he was just there. He's like, I'm gonna listen to this song now. I like this.
Yeah, he's just chilling in the background. All in all, if you like this kind of movie, it's a fun romp. It might make you feel conflicted by the end, given some of the shit that goes on. But
poor kitty.
Yeah, that's still a little disturbing. If anything would give me nightmares out of this, it might be the cat rape.
Yes.
Yeah. That because I love cats, and not in that way, but damn.
Or the midget gets shot out of the catapult. I felt bad for that too. Oh, and then to top it all off, when he's still alive in the third movie.
Yeah, he's still getting eaten.
And then as the monsters are still there, the army guy comes out of this truck and runs them over, finally killing them.
The monsters scatter, and you see the poor guy get run over by the vehicle. Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. It was funny because he had half his body was gone. He's like, "Oh, my dick," because his dick's gone.
Yeah, got him from
that's all he cared about.
Got him from the waist down. Just ripped him in half.
Anyways,
any last thoughts?
Watch all 3 because it's really good.
All right. So we will off here. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if there's any movies you want to hear me talk about. And have a good one.